Hello, welcome in to the starters. I'm Dave. That's Simon. That's George. How's it going, boys?
What's going on, Dave?
The dream continues.
The dream continues. All right, guys, let's get to it right away. I mean, are we going to talk about the Blue Jays making the World Series? Okay, wow. So we're just going to move on. All right. We're going to move on. All right, so guys, there's a bit of a goalie controversy going on here now with the Montreal Canadiens. We have Sam Montembeault playing okay. I wouldn't say poorly, but just not playing up to his normal Sam Montembeault standards, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Dobes coming in and playing very well. So I just want to know, is Dobes playing well enough to steal that number one spot away from Sam Montembeault?
I think so. And I think that Montembeault, coming off last year, had a good year. And he had the job. But I don't think he's like at the level of Nick Suzuki, that if Kirby Dach had himself a absolutely wonderful training camp, that Kirby Dach's going to knock out Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki's set in stone no matter what camp, no matter what you brought in the first 6 or 7, 8 games of the season. And maybe Cole Caulfield, too, has a running mate for Nick Suzuki. I think Slavkovsky is a guy that, hey, man, if you don't play good enough, you don't do this, you don't do that, maybe they move Demidov up to that line. Maybe they move Bolduc up to the line. I don't know. So I don't know. I missed the memo that Sam Montembeault was like his cage to lose. Like, no. The other guy's got to go Steve Penny. Google that, Dave.
Whoa, Steve Penny. I had a hockey card of him. Wow.
So this is a team that I love how they're playing. I think they're playing well. They got to a great start. But, if the Panthers get healthy and the Leafs figure things, it's going to be a dogfight for a playoff spot. Position number 9 and 10 will probably miss the playoffs by a point or two. I think the Flames last year missed with the same number of points, but they just lost a tiebreaker. So there's no time here to appease Sam Montembeault or whoever who's not playing up to standards. Patrick Laine, not playing well enough, got demoted to a fourth line, went on the power play, second unit. Lane Hudson chased Larry Murphy scoring records last year for points by a rookie defenseman. Most nights it's Dobson that's going to get the first call in the first power play unit. Nobody's done enough here. Nobody has enough rope on this squad other than, I think, Nick Suzuki to just say, this is my spot, figure out everything else around me. Sam Montembeault is a big part of this team, but Dobes could be a big part of this team as well. The net, to me, going into camp, clearly edge Sam Montembeault. Leaving camp, edge Sam Montembeault. But now it's for real. And now 2 points matters every single night. I love the Habs. I think they're playing really well. It's nice to watch. They're not running away with the Atlantic Division here. They're not going to clinch this thing by St. Paddy's Day like they're going to clinch the Atlantic Division. Every point matters. Martin St. Louis' mandate, like any coach at any level, is to put your best group out there. Who gives you your best chance to win? And if it's Dobes, so be it, man.
Well said. George?
So, yeah, I'm going to probably echo what Simon is saying here in that I kind of look at it a little bit probably the way Martin St. Louis looks at it is like, who's the hot hand? Who's the guy that's going to win me the hockey game tonight? And look, Dobes gets back-to-back starts because he's winning hockey games. And as long as he's winning hockey games, he's probably going to be the guy they're going to run to. And when he gets tired, they're going to play Montembeault. And then if he loses a couple of games or he loses a game, it's going to be Montembeault's net and back and forth until they find the guy that gives them the best chance to win more often than the other. So I think that's the way of professional sports. And I think Simon kind of said it best. There's no Andre Vasilevsky in nets here.
Exactly.
Okay? There's no established number one superstar goalie that has a proven track record with a couple of cups in the, on his resume. So I think, other than Suzuki that he named, I don't think there's a guy really that's got this established role on this team that is unmovable up and down the lineup, unmovable off the power play, unmovable from the net. I think everybody's kind of jockeying for position because I think there is a world, unlikely as it may be, that Josh Anderson, example, starts playing on the second line. And it's just, look, it can happen, So Josh Anderson, Dobes is not the number one goalie per se, but he's the number one goalie right now. And that may change next week. It might change next month. But today, whatever it is, October 23rd or 22nd, he's the number one goalie. And that's how it is.
You know who told me he's not the number one goalie?
Go ahead.
You guys want to know who told me he's not secured as the number one goalie like a staple? His contract.
Yeah, right. That's true. Right. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
He doesn't have a Vasilevsky contract. He's not like anointed as the man, ride or die.
But in today's hockey, Simon, you know, John Gibson was giving a huge contract, right? Yeah. And John Gibson last year, injured as he was, and the year before he split games with Dostal, and then they ran him out of town. So even the contract, you know, and you have to have built that resume the way Vasilevsky has, you know, to be able to say you're a clear-cut number one goalie, even beyond the contract, I think, these days.
And Sam Montembeault had a wonderful season last year. And
did, absolutely.
Part of why that team made it to the postseason, and that's why he was on Four Nations. But he is not.
He might still have that season. He might still have it.
Not at the level right now that he's just a staple. Like driving down whatever street you want to drive down to get to Bell Center. Like he doesn't. Other than Nick Suzuki and maybe Cole Caulfield, nobody else knows where they're going to be on that whiteboard.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Fair enough. I really like what I see from Dobes, and I think that he could really, like 40 games into the season, you could see yourself in a situation where he's just taking over the crease. I think he's unorthodox. He's a big guy. He battles, and the team seems to rally around him. So
they like him.
Really like him. Yeah. All right. Next question. I mean, it's a very, very simple question, and Mike Matheson is in his contract year. He's currently playing on the top pairing. I want to know, guys, are you trying to re-sign Mike Matheson if you're in charge of this team?
So I will go on record as to say Mike Matheson is the most underrated player on the Montreal Canadiens. And that's crazy to say when the guy is playing first-line minutes. But Mike Matheson is an excellent defenseman. And Mike Matheson, I believe, is an anchor right now in terms of you got to have this guy to be able to be a playoff team for the Montreal Canadiens. So I absolutely sign him because I don't think Reinbacher's ready. Clearly he's not because he's pretty fragile right now. I don't think Struble is a guy that can take over and do what Matheson is doing. Like trade chip considered, I don't believe Matheson on another team helps the Canadiens win more. So I definitely sign him. Now, however, there is a world where Mike Matheson's agent comes and he says to Kent Hughes, you know, I need 7 years for, I don't know, $7 million, and I balk at that, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, if there's a reasonable contract out there, I'm willing to pay Mike Matheson. I think Mike Matheson has earned it. I think Mike Matheson's play will not really drop in the next 4 years or so. I'm comfortable giving him a 4-year deal at 5 or 5.5 or 6 even maybe. It just can't get crazy because they can get crazy sometimes, these contracts. But Kent Hughes has shown a real knack for not only signing reasonable contracts, guys. And I think, Simon, you know, you've been following the Canadiens for a long time. I can't remember a better GM at being able to go and target guys who want to be here. A general manager who finds guys that want to be part of the Montreal Canadiens. And I think Mike Matheson fits that bill. He's a good Chinook, if you want. He's been a terrific hockey player for the Montreal Canadiens since he got here. Not only for his play, but his leadership with the younger guys. I mean, you know, he didn't say a word last year when Lane Hudson took all those minutes off the power play. You know, he was a great leader, a great positive reinforcement for Lane Hudson. Listen, I have nothing but good to say about what I've seen on the ice and off the ice from Mike Matheson as a fan, as a casual observer. If I'm the Montreal Canadiens, if the contract demands are reasonable, I sign Mike Matheson, no doubt about it.
All right, Simon?
So let's just say he gets a contract like Jake Evans, which we're all like, oh, that's a nice dollar sign. Or a Lane Hudson contract. You're like, oh, that's really better than fair market value for Lane Hudson, right? So let's just say, I don't know what that number is. If it's 4, 5, 6, whatever the number is that everybody's like, oh, that's feasible. Okay, so let's go. He can play 23, 24 minutes a game. His strengths are 22 minutes a game, but he can play 23, 24, and 25 minutes a game. I saw Andrei Markov never win a foot race and be a quality defenseman for a long time. Mike Matheson wins every foot race. Mike Matheson has the one thing now, and as he gets older, it'll diminish a little bit, but elite skating ability. When you can skate yourself out of trouble, and guys, he's in his, I don't know how old he is, whatever. We're watching the modern athlete perform at a high level until they're mid to late 30s, right? Mm-hmm. It's no longer that, oh my goodness, 35. So let's just say he's evolved like the modern athlete has evolved. Last time I checked, you have a beautiful pairing of Matheson and Dobson. Very small sample size. But again, what these guys do well, they will continue to do well. Exit zone entries, controlled zone entries. They can skate, not overly physical. That's not their game. I get that. But you have yourself a top pairing. Now, this is my favorite part. How do you know David Reinbacher is going to be better than Mike Matheson as an NHL defenseman? Now, of course, if David Reinbacher comes in and is almost as good making entry-level contract, then you got yourself a situation that, okay, yeah, all right, this guy's making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, cost certainty for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Sure, I totally get that. But Mike Matheson's a former first-round pick. And David Reinbacher is a former first-round pick, a little bit higher. I get that. But there's no guarantee that Reinbacher is going to be better than Matheson. At least I haven't seen it. Like, when you watch Lane Hudson-Fulich from college, you're like, whoa, okay, you kind of saw, okay, maybe the size doesn't translate to the National Hockey League, but you knew there was an element of his game that is not widespread across the National Hockey League. So what's the rush? And another thing is, people talk about the depth on the blue line, Well, the depth on the blue line is the only depth on the team that might be able to get you that second-line center. I love the Bolduc acquisition. I loved the Dobson acquisition. But both those acquisitions were at the expense of assets that could have got you a second-line center. Heineman, the 2 draft picks, Mayu. So now if you're still, like me, in desperate need of a second-line center, my piece might only be Reinbacher and Engstrom and maybe a couple of first-round picks. So if I got to part with those unproven commodities that may have really high upside for finally that second-line center, well, I'll take whoever that second-line center is, and Mike Matheson making $5-6 million bucks. That's right. On the back end on a top pairing. I don't get it. The only people that don't want Mike Matheson, it's the world we live in today, is the people who have dug in too deep. The guys that thought he was garbage, the guy that called a post-game show and said he wasn't good at hockey and blah. It's just like your favorite political leader turns out to be a douche, and you can't walk it back because you got 6 years of posts talking about how great he or she is, or how your favorite quarterback is amazing and he doesn't turn out to be a very good quarterback and you just can't walk it back. That's the world we live in now. People will not walk things back. So that's the only people who don't want Mike Matheson here, is the people that were critical of him last year and realize, oh my goodness, Habs have themselves a top pairing. I'm older than both you guys. I don't remember a 1 through 6 this good on the Habs. Maybe we go back to the Chris Chelios, Ludwig, Tom Krivers, back in 1 through 6, and your 7 is Struble or Jacky, which is also a level of physicality. The 1 through 6 has never been this good. If this team makes a run at the Atlantic Division, I guarantee you it's because of 1 through 6. It won't be because of the goaltending. It won't be because of their top 6. It'll be because of 1 through 6 of the blue line. You have an excellent blue line right now. To part ways, to roll the dice with some, I simply don't get it. I simply do not get it.
Well said. I mean, this fan base is known for also loving everything on paper, right? These prospects, they're penned in there, and they're going to be the best. Like, they don't have that wait and see approach with Reinbacher, right? To them,
the young Russian kid dogging kids in the KHL. He's
Can I just salute the Steve Penny reference? So I think anytime there's a Steve Penny reference, this has been a good podcast.
I just want to leave Dave with this. Where's mine?
Oh, there it is. Okay. Got it.
Dodgers in 5.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna second that.
Dodgers in 5.
I'm gonna.
I mean, we already have some beverages on the line for
There's beverages on the line. Yeah.
Behind the scenes here, but I mean, come on.
Adult beverages.
If we went to watch a baseball game together one day, we'll have some wings.
I would love to.
I'm down for this. I'm down for this. All right. Let's do it.
I would love to, because you're going to be surprised. The Jays hitters are relentless. Mike Matheson is 31 years old.
It's nothing.
Exactly.
He's got lots of time, man. I'm down. Sign him up.
I watched Andrei Markov in his late 30s with 3 knee surgeries.
Give him a 6-year deal. 6. I'm willing to go 6.
Love it. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Be sure to tune in to Simon on the weekends, 10 to noon on TSN 690, of course, and drop us a follow and answer the questions in the comments at the Starter 690. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, sir.